Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today I got a full list of CGC 9.8 comic books and the prices that they sold for. And yeah, I think if you're actively buying CGC 9.8 comic books like I am, like one of the best things you can do is just sort of know the fair market value prices for some of the key issues in the 9.8 that you might want. And you're almost never going to overpay in that kind of situation when you have that knowledge, because there's always those sellers out there on eBay certainly trying to get like 50%, 100% more than kind of the fair market value. So you know, more information is always better, I think. So the full list here, they're all CGC 9.8s, and I think, you know, my 9.8 philosophy, I guess, is I really like these sort of 80s and 90s books and the modern books too. And you know, they're so well printed by then. So if you're coming at it from like an investment perspective, you know, I recommend to kind of go for CGC 9.8s exclusively. That's what I've done myself. And, you know, it's a different ball game sort of in the 70s and the 60s for sure. But that's sort of my quick kind of 9.8 philosophy. But the whole list here and the prices, they're all CGC 9.8s. All US dollars here, all the prices we'll talk about, just to kind of keep it simple. I'll have a list in the description below of the key issues and the prices too that we'll talk about. All right, let's quickly get into a team book here. Brett had got at me on Instagram. He saw a Teen Titans number 12 sell for $810 in an auction too. So kind of a good idea of sort of the current fair market value, and I think this book's really hot, so you might want to be patient on this one. I brought mine out, Teen Titans 12. First full appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. Yeah, really cool comic. He, like, Batman Who Laughs kind of mind controls the Riddler in this one to kind of do his evil deeds on Earth kind of thing. So pretty cool book, and in the 9.8, pretty rare as well. $810 in an auction right now, really expensive for a modern book like this, even though it's one I've recommended. So it's tough maybe not to recommend this one, but yeah, one went for $810 in an auction, and yeah, thanks to Brett for getting at me on Instagram. Just the one team book. If you are seeing any completed listings, you can let me know on Instagram, and hopefully I'll remember to include them on the video here. But full list here we'll get into. First book's really hot, just a cool book to kind of see the price after we made a video maybe 2 or 3 months ago sort of recommending it, and it was like $170, $180 then. Venom Number 3 third print went in an auction, I think it ended yesterday, and it sold for $810 too, so same price as the Teen Titans 12. Different seller though, so. But $810 for a book like this. A modern book, just came out a couple years ago. Yeah, it's that third print first Knull cover that's low printed. I know that, but seems that both of these books pretty expensive for just being awesome books. So like certainly I was recommending them when they were less, but you might want to just possibly be patient right now on these and wait for, you know, some of these modern books I think to come closer down to $500 again, because they were, you know, I know Teen Titans 12 was kind of sticking around kind of $350 area for quite a while, and then it really took off to $810 now. And Venom 3 third print pretty much went from, you know, $120 to $810 now. So yeah, I might want to be patient on that one, but good to know just sort of what these are going in the auctions right now. Next book here, it's a Spectacular Spider-Man number 64. First appearance of Cloak and Dagger. Yeah, this is a cool issue I've mentioned on a couple of the sort of cold list videos that we're doing right now. There was a bit of a series where this one heated up, and I was sort of used to thinking that these always went for about $500 or maybe over in the CGC 9.8. But in an auction, one went for $432 right now in the 9.8. And I think we documented one where there was one that went for just under $400, and I was like, wow, that's like really tempting for a book like this with the big first appearance of the duo. Yeah, and a cool cover too. I have this one in the raw from a copy I had when I was really young too, and yeah, kind of a cover I remember. And yeah, this is kind of tempting for me at this point with the price, you know, this book not really taken off, and it certainly was more expensive in the past during that Cloak and Dagger. I don't even know what it was. I didn't watch it, but some kind of Netflix show or something like that. Next one here, Justice League number 50. This is a cool modern book, I think, and it's the first, you kind of find out for the first time there's 3 different Jokers basically. So DC, I believe in a month or two they're doing pre-orders, I think, for it now, for the 3 Jokers. So they're going to kind of go down that angle a little bit. So I think this is kind of one that if you can pick it up pretty quick, and I've actually been attempting to, but not really seeing anything in Canada pop up or anything reasonable in the US. So one went for $124.99, and this was about a week ago almost, this one. And we had documented one that went for like $113 in the CGC 9.8 in an auction. And yeah, I think this is one that you can hopefully try and pick up before, you know, this Three Jokers thing maybe catches on, or maybe it doesn't, I'm not too sure. But really cool cover by Jason Fabik on this one. Yeah, I really like this one, but only at, you know, a decent price, because it's not very rare in the CGC 9.8. But for a modern with that first Three Jokers, if you're kind of a Joker fan like me and a Batman fan, I think that's a pretty cool one to get, actually. All right, next one here. I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 4th print sell. Yeah, I sort of documented on our video a week ago or so that this was a pretty cool one to go after if you're a big Ninja Turtles fan, but maybe on a bit of a budget, because certainly the other #1s are really expensive. So the 4th print, #1 in the 9.8, sold for $350. And I saw one sell, like, because I'm sort of watching this one and maybe thinking about grabbing one. And another one sold maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, and it was like, I think it was $399 or best offer. So it probably sold right around $350 as well. And yeah, you know what? I think that's if that fits your budget, that's a pretty cool book to get. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, 4th printing. It's kind of the first colored one. It doesn't look like the first 3 prints, which is kind of the downfall, I guess. And it does sort of drop off in price from the 3rd printing in the 9.8, which is like $1,400 or something like that at this point. So yeah, this is still a cool one to get, and I did mention that maybe I kind of want to grab this one instead of maybe the 3rd print, which is $1,400 in the 9.8. This is kind of maybe more in my budget right now. So next one is Swamp Thing #49. This is a cool cover, a cool Swamp Thing book. And you kind of like when John Constantine and the whole first like Justice League Dark gang kind of get together. This is kind of the first Justice League Dark team up, apparently. And it sold in an auction for $100. Yeah, Justice League 40. I think that's a cool one. Like if you're any type of John Constantine or a big DC fan, that's kind of a cool DC key that you can buy for around $100. In an auction, this one went for. And like I think there's one online where it's like maybe $150, buy it now type of thing. So this is one, if you're patient on it, you maybe get it around $100, but if you want it now, maybe it's $150. But yeah, still kind of a minor key though that has some potential with a cool cover. So if you are a Swamp Thing fan, I think this one makes sense for sure. Interesting book. Yeah, this one we documented before, and I was sort of was kind of hitting myself in that video thinking like I should have pulled the trigger on it, but now looking how much this book is going for. Amazing Spider-Man 365. So this, you get the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. And I think it's in a preview of sort of Spider-Man 2099 #1 in this Amazing Spider-Man 365 with the hologram cover kind of thing. But with the whole Into the Spider-Verse, different types of Spider-Mans, just doing really well. This one in an auction too, went for $270 in an auction. So yeah, wow. We did document one, and it was in Canada, and it kind of popped up, and I sort of waited a day trying to make a decision, and it sold. And I'm pretty sure it was $110. And that was, getting on maybe 4 to 6 months ago now. So yeah, this book has, with Miles Fever, it's just the whole Into the Spider-Verse thing is starting to heat up with some of these early kind of rumors coming out about who's going to be in the next movie and things like that, and some of the promo. All right, next book here is an Amazing Spider-Man #4. Yeah, this is when Cindy Moon becomes Silk. Pretty popular modern 9.8 to consider for sure. This is just the first print. I saw a few sell because there's that variant, that's the 1 in 25 variant. That's one of those sort of variants that's really become quite popular. It's got the variant's a pretty cool cover, but saw just the research this morning, 2 of the first prints. One went for $178.50. Another one went for $228.27 in an auction. So yeah, this is one, it's sort of heated up, and I would say that's a good idea of the range right there. Like the lower end of the range, $175, the higher end of the range, $225. This book does have a little bit of potential, I think, but if, Silk doesn't really come out in any pop culture event, I could see this book cooling off as well. but there seems to be some anticipation. But I would look to get this one closer to 175, hopefully. But yeah, just that's the sort of the few that I've went just in the past few days here. So yeah, good idea of the range. So Venom 3 first print, the next one. So yeah, I talked about that third print, which is low printed and first Knull cover. But the first print, it has really taken off as well. So in an auction, one went for $370 just in the last day or two here on eBay in the first print. And this was one that I had I never really was into this Venom series. I never read it yet, so I really got to kind of get on the Knull bandwagon a little bit more. But this was one I almost considered purchasing about 6 months ago at like $125, $130, I think it was, in Canada too. Didn't do it, and now it's $370 in an auction. So yeah, certainly missed out on the Knull train, I think, unfortunately. But yeah, Venom 3 first print going for $370 now is a lot for a modern book. So yeah, for a book that's just come out in the last couple years, but yeah, certainly Knull's really popular. I would sort of look for this one to sort of settle, like if it's $370 now, for it to settle sort of around like $225, close to like first Apocalypse, first Bane, these big classic villains. I think that's the trajectory for this book. Yeah, it's just really, Knull's really hot right now. So yeah, I think it's a cool book, but should kind of be in there with all the other cool villains in the long term, I think. Next one, a modern book too that I saw, is a Venom number 26. This one just coming out here with the first full Virus appearance. And there's kind of a debate out there, certainly, like that Free Comic Book Day has a really cool, like, one-pager of an awesome pin-up of Virus kind of thing. So people are saying that could be his first appearance. But Venom number 26 in the 9.8, I saw a sell. And I'm pretty sure they weren't like pre-sales or anything. They looked like they were legit pictures of like that they were in hand kind of thing. And one went for $80 and one went for $83 in an auction. So yeah, I mean, just given how hot this Venom series is, I think these are kind of good buys for possibly, you grab these books for $80 right now, and then if Virus gets hot, this is one you could probably sell for like $200 pretty soon kind of thing, just with how this Venom Donny Cates series, like any first appearance is just kind of will probably have that pop, I feel. So yeah, that was probably good buys. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like Venom number 26 9.8s going for like 130, 140 in like the next week or two, to be honest, or like who knows, in a month, I would say, in the short term, let's say. Okay, next one though, Amazing Spider-Man 361. Yeah, first full appearance of Carnage. My favorite 90s cover, I think it is. Yeah, this is just one of my favorite 90s books. I got two of them in the 9.8 in the blue label. This one though, a signature series. I saw one sell, signed by Stan Lee and Mark Bagley. So yeah, kind of the two signatures you want on this book. It went for, it was in an auction too, for $1,065. So that, I mean, that's a really cool collector item, I think, for $1,000, $1,065. Yeah, kind of, makes me sort of want books like it or similar to it signed by Stan Lee as well, because certainly I think Stan Lee's going to be a great signature to have. And I've mentioned in videos in the past, I'm not the biggest signature series fan, but I don't have a Stan Lee signature series book. And that, I think that would be, like, even though I don't have a lot of signature series books, that would be one to consider for sure. Yeah, so 1065, Amazing Spider-Man 361, signed by Stan Lee and Mark Bagley in the 9.8. Next one's a cool one, actually, that I've sort of overlooked, certainly. It's an Incredible Hulk 324. This is when Grey Hulk returns. So Grey Hulk comes back in this one. Kind of a, sort of mid-80s Incredible Hulk, CGC 9.8 here. Got a really cool Hulk #1 cover homage. So Grey Hulk's back, plus a Hulk 1 cover homage. This is a cool one, actually. A 1980s book in the 9.8 in an auction went for $173.50. So this is, I think, a good idea of like a pretty good value in this market right now. Like, you get kind of the return of Grey Hulk, which is kind of cool, and a Hulk #1 homage, which I think is really cool too. So yeah, this one has potential, and I think would just be a great one to have, like from a pride of ownership perspective, and overlooked quite a bit. Yeah, Incredible Hulk 324. And the CGC 9.8 for $173.50 it went for. All right, next one, yeah, is a Hell Risen #3. So You're the Villain, Hell Risen #3. First full appearance of Punchline. Pretty cool cover on this one, I gotta say. I like the cover. So these are heating back up, yeah, because just one went here in the last few days, $193.50, $193.50. That was sort of the price that the sort of first 9.8s on the market were when this kind of originally was like really popular. They lulled to, I saw quite a few auctions like that went for like 130, 125, 135. And I was even thinking of maybe getting in there at that time, but now, yeah, maybe they're back up with a lot of the Punchline covers coming out and stuff like that. But $193.50, and yeah, I'd be more inclined to maybe wait for under 150 in that one. You know, in 6 months, are they going to be really talking about Punchline that much? Probably not, and I feel like these will be about 120 in that environment again. Next one is a really cool book, certainly too, kind of coming out of the CGC signature events that they're having. Batman The Dark Knight Returns, #1, signed by Frank Miller. Yeah, really good looking one too. New case, signed at the CGC event, like just recently signed. Crisp looking new case. $1,136 it went for in an auction too. So a good idea, kind of a fair value for this book, which is, it's awesome. And it's like the Frank Miller book. And he doesn't sign too many books, and he's not, you know, big on the signature series scene. So his signatures are usually a lot more expensive. So yeah, that's a, you know, maybe because the event's garnering some Frank Miller hype, that might be maybe $100 more than, you know, maybe if you're really patient, you get that around closer to 1,000, but still a really cool book. And I think it's kind of worth that price. $1,136, Batman The Dark Knight Returns, #1, signed by Frank Miller in the 9.8 white pages. Yeah. So Batman 89 first print sold too in the 9.8 white pages. Saw one. They're heating up. $197. Yeah, so this is kind of heating up to sort of the hype that it had when they first initially, when Punchline first initially came out. There was a little bit of a lull. Now $197. Yeah, great cover on this one too. They're wantable. I got to admit they're wantable, but for these modern books, I'm just really happy to be extremely patient on them, I guess. So next book here, Ultimate Fallout #4, first print. Yeah, so first Miles Morales. This book is kind of the hottest book in comics, the hottest 9.8 in comics maybe going right now. Maybe neck and neck with Venom 3 third print and Teen Titans 12 and Batman Beyond #1, yeah, in the CGC 9.8. Ultimate Fallout #4, first print, $1,026, 114 in an auction too. So kind of a good idea of kind of what they're going for right now if you kind of threw one up on eBay. Ultimate Fallout #4, first print, $1,026. Yeah, they're just kind of knocking around that $1,000 mark, and occasionally they'll be like $920, $940, but then the next auction comes around and it's over $1,000. So yeah, that's sort of the range on them, and I think that's kind of justified, but you know, there's still really a lot of hype about this Into the Spider-Verse movie. So, you know, after, you know, a year or two after the Into the Spider-Verse movie, what is this going to be going for? You know, I'd be interested to know maybe about this price, maybe a little bit lower possibly, who knows? But I mean, a great book. I was pounding the table to buy this one, and I'm hitting myself for not buying multiple copies in the 9.8. I have one of them, but you know, it's hard not to recommend this one. It's such a great one, you know, the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and he's so accepted by kind of the comic book community and pop culture now. So yeah, you don't want to fight the Miles fever, I don't think, but maybe be more patient on this one. Hopefully get it in this environment closer to 900. Yeah, tough one to kind of get a good price on right now, I think. So next one is a cool one, I think. It's a Thor #1 from 2014. So this is when Jane Foster becomes the new Thor. But this is the variant edition, and I really just artistically prefer this one way more than the kind of close-up face first print version. So Thor #1 in the variant version in an auction went for $355. And I think that's a great buy right now. That's such a great buy. That's going to be a really good price, I think, because yeah, a lot of these variants of you know, first appearances right now, like the Dr. Aphra one is like $700 to $800 now, even more. I'm seeing. So this one, you know, first Thor, like first new Thor, first Lady Thor in the variant format, where a lot of these variants have just completely taken off for $355, under $400. Great buy, yeah. So we'll see how that one goes, but that could be, yeah. I never really considered this book, but I really like how the art on the variant is, and yeah, this is one to consider, certainly around that price if you can swing that. Next one, Uncanny X-Men 266. I saw a sell. Yeah, first full appearance of Gambit. A classic early 90s book. $544.82 one went for. So, I mean, this is heating up. There's kind of more and more whispers. I think there was like some sort of pics dropped of maybe this is like the new MCU X-Men look, and it was kind of retro but new school X-Men. It looked really cool, to be honest. So kind of a promo phase for X-Men right now. And this, so going for $544.82 in the CGC 9.8. 6 months ago, is maybe even 6 to 12 months ago, we'll call it now. This one was like $320 in an auction. Yeah, it was really cold, and I really thought I wanted to grab one back then, but just ended up grabbing other books, and kind of hard to grab them all, I guess. But from low 300s to $544.82, this one's kind of come a long way, but it is a big first appearance. But yeah, with the X-Men MCU movies coming out, it could still be a good buy at this price. Yeah, this could still be one to kind of get around $500, I think. Uncanny X-Men 221, I saw a sell as well. Yeah, first Mr. Sinister, the direct edition, and there's a lot of rumors about Mr. Sinister. I think there was like pretty much a confirmation that he's going to be like one of the next MCU villains in the X-Men kind of thing going. And this book kind of took off from that a little bit. In an auction though, direct one, looking pretty good, went for $318. And yeah, this is one, it lulled for about 6 to 12 months ago. It lulled around like 150, 160. Like this was one that really cooled off. And yeah, it was one, I have a newsstand version. I bought my newsstand for, it was $250. So with the direct going for $318 now, you'd think the newsstand probably going for about $400 at least, because this is a late 80s book, kind of mid to late 80s, where the newsstands get, the newsstands in the 9.8 get really rare and scarce. So yeah, around $318, maybe under $300. Hopefully you get a lull here before the X-Men movies come out and maybe get that under $300 at Uncanny X-Men 221 in the 9.8. All right, last book here is Amazing Spider-Man 316. So yeah, book I have 2 of in the 9.8. I got a really nice raw copy too. One of my most nostalgic covers, favorite Venom covers, and being a big McFarlane fan, one I always wanted. So I saw one in an auction go, it was off-white to white pages, in an auction go for $403. So yeah, this is a classic book, so I'm not really surprised it's heating up, because certainly there's Knull is kind of a symbiote, and everything's symbiote is just really hot right now, I think. But yeah, this is still a classic book. The price I paid for mine, it was like $265, $270 maybe. And the other one, I bought it raw and I got it graded. And it came back 9.8 white pages. Yeah, I only sent 11 books to CGC one time, and 8 of them came back 9.8, and one of them was this one here. Yeah, so, but me picking it up for $270 or whatever it was, and now $403 in the off-white pages, this one's, heated up as well. Just another example, I think, of like a lot of these classic CGC 9.8s are doing pretty good right now. Yeah, the market's quite hot. Yeah, I'd wait for closer, be more patient, wait for closer to $350 on Amazing Spider-Man 316, I would think, in the CGC 9.8. Yeah, and symbiote books tend to be pretty hot right now. All right, that's a full list. I will have the list in the description below with the prices and everything. Just, I like to sort of look at that list as I'm talking, almost to follow it as like a resource. But yeah, as I say in these videos, like one of the best things you can do if you're buying these 9.8s is make sure you get as much knowledge about the prices as much as you can, and not like just looking on eBay and seeing how the price is. Like you got to do the completed listings search. That's going to give you the actual sales of the books, not like what the listings are on eBay, and that's what really matters. And then that, yeah, you do that for, we've been doing these videos for almost a year now. You get a really good idea of what the fair market value for the CGC 9.8 should be. Because yeah, there's always those sellers trying to get the top dollar. And you want to have more information and make sure you're getting your books for a fair price, being patient, waiting for the right listings to pop up. All right, that'll be it for the video today. If you haven't already, I would invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8 and hit the bell for all the latest notifications. Add me on Instagram and Twitter too. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support from the team, and loving all the conversations I'm having on Instagram. Message me on Instagram if you do have any questions about anything. But yeah, good full list of key issues to get through. I always feel really good after, like, I feel like I'm on top of the market after I do these videos of the 9.8s prices and everything. And yeah, the more knowledge you get, you definitely feel better about collecting these 9.8s and yeah, just going about buying them and things like that. All right, thank you so much for all the support and for watching. I'll see you on the next one.